welcome to Barrel the Terrible. Today we're recording the Leaping Tunes featuring the new Politoed from Lost Origin with the Lordly Songleader attack, doing 10 base damage, plus 60 more if you have a poliwag on your bench, and another 90 if you have a poliwhirl there as well, plus 120 more for a poliwrath on your bench. So that means it gets to do a maximum of 280 damage, knocking out a VSTAR Pokemon with one hit. We don't have a choice belt for this deck or a Radiant Howlucha, that means we're not able to knock out a VMAX with one hit, but that's okay. Hitting twice for a VMAX knockout is still a big plus, and we can still win since we're drawing more than 2 prize in 2 turns. So the main concern of this deck is to evolve your Politoed, Poliwrath, and Poliwhirl as fast as possible, helping you do big damage with this attack. But to start off the game, it may be better to focus on doing only 160 damage with this attack, helping us do a 2-hit knockout against a VMAX by having only a Poliwag and Poliwhirl on the bench. And after that, you can focus on doing more damage with your Politoed by bringing out your Poliwrath with a Rare Candy evolution or even your Dream Ball. So Dream Ball can only be played if you draw it from the prize, and it allows you to search your deck for any Pokemon and put it directly onto your bench. So that means we get to summon another Politoed or a Poliwrath to prepare for our next hit with the Frog Prince. We can also attack with our Poliwrath, doing Split Spiral Punch for 60 damage, plus a Confusion effect for only 1 water energy, or Splash Loop hitting 160 damage for 2 extra colorless, and you actually get to put 2 energies attached to this Pokemon back into your hand. That means you get to save a twin energy for your next Politoed. To bench as many Poliwags as possible early on in the game for us to evolve fast with our 3 copies of VIP Pass, 3 Level Ball, 3 Quick Ball, 3 Capture, and 2 Hisuian Heavy Ball. For the evolution, we have 2 Incense, 1 Ultra Ball, and 1 Great Ball. We're also playing 1 Ball Guy and 1 Irida to help us search for our Pokemons, 1 Peonia to get any of our Froggies from the prize if they get stuck there, and also to prepare our Dream Ball for the Stage 2 summon. We can also search for an Arc Phone with our Irida if we have a Dream Ball in our hand already, putting it into the prize with this new item and Oranguru's Primate Wisdom. We're also playing 2 Snorlax for the draw support, 1 Marnie, 1 Cynthia, 1 Bruno, 1 Shauna, and 1 Birdkeeper, 2 Scuba Nets for the switch, and also to free up a bench spot for us to play the Dream Ball. Finally, we have 2 Basic Water and 1 Raihan to help Poliwrath attack with Splash Loop for 160 damage, 1 Boss's Order for the extra power play, and 3 Rods to shuffle back our Pokemon and energies. We also have an alternate list with Zoroark and Arezu using Phantom Transformation to revive our Poliwhirl, Politoed, and Poliwrath on the bench instead of the previous Arc Phone Dream Ball combo with Peonia and Oranguru. For this version, we have an extra copy of Bruno and Zinnia's Resolve, 2 Capture and 1 Aurora, 1 Snorlax and 1 Bibarel for the draw support, 1 extra VIP Pass in exchange for a Heavy Ball, no Ball Guy, and 1 last Ordinary Rod. So that's all for the deck list, and be sure to grab yourself some packs from our sponsor at X-Trainer90 Team to build your very own deck from any cards in format. They even sell online codes for character rares, full art, and gold cards to expand your collection. So check out the link in the description below or click on the top right corner of this video to enhance your PTCG experience. Use code BTT for 5% off any products to get yourself some lovely cards. And now for the moment of truth, let's go for some gameplays! Okay, let's go for our first game versus Giratina VSTAR. We got a Sobble coin for our water deck, a darkness as well. So we are playing Politoed with Poliwrath, and we actually need water energy for both Pokemons. Politoed requires 2 colorless, so we have 4 solid copies of twin energy, which is okay. And Poliwrath can actually still attack. Splash Loop is quite cool. You get to do 160 damage and put your twin energy back into your hand. And then you get to use back the twin energy for your Politoed to do Lordly Songleader on the next turn. Obviously, always attack with your Politoed first. If you do Splash Loop way too early, you're going to end up having your Poliwrath get killed. And then if it's knocked out, you're going to be left with less Pokemons on your bench. And if you don't have a Poliwrath anymore, you're doing 120 less damage with your Frog Prince, with your Politoed. So that Toad is not doing that much damage. If you have a Poliwrath, make sure you use the Songleader attack as early as possible, because that attack actually does a lot of damage. It's conditional, right? We want to be using the conditional attack first, because whatever condition that is satisfied has to be kind of, we have to prioritize that attack. Splash Loop doesn't require any condition. It's doing 160 damage now or later. It doesn't really matter when we use it. So always golden rule is to play your Politoed, attack with it first. If you have your Poliwrath on your bench, do not use it until the very last second. Even if they boss you, at least they are required to waste that 1 copy of boss. At least they are wasting their supporter card. They won't have that many bosses on the next turn anymore. And we have our Dream Ball to summon our 2nd copy of Poliwrath, our Rod to shuffle it back, so it's still okay if we get it killed early. We are actually doing 160 damage with 1 poliwhirl and 1 poliwag on the bench. We don't need the stage 2 poliwrath to kill a VMAX with 2 hits, but to kill a VSTAR, we need to be knocking out a VSTAR with 1 hit, because if we pass the turn, they may just retreat to the bench, Crystal Cave, or just attack with another VSTAR, and it's always better to kill a VSTAR with 1 hit if you can, or even a V card basic V. That actually helps you, you know, speed up your game much easily. It helps you win a lot faster, because if you are killing a VSTAR 1 shot at a time, if you collect 2 prize in 2 turns, that's always not good, because your opponent can quite easily knock you out first. Playing a meta deck, they can actually collect their first prize much faster, because you're playing a stage 2. It's not that easy to evolve all of your Pokemons. It's not that easy to play a Snorlax deck and collect your first prize fast. So our opponent is more likely to draw their first prize early, and we actually need to wait until we have enough Politoeds, enough of our froggies, before we're able to do enough damage with Lordly Songleader. That's a very weird name. I don't like the name. It sounds quite horrible, to be honest. I think the direct translation is better. I forgot one of the websites. I forgot what they called it. They called it something else, but I quite prefer that name. I totally forgot. Sorry, guys. So it has the Perish Song attack. Like, Politoed is infamous for Perish Song. Same with Lapras. All because it's like a melodic Pokemon, I guess. It's supposed to sing. It's a croaky Pokemon, isn't it? Like, frogs usually have a bad voice. They're meant to have a bad voice. But Politoed looks so, I don't know, so happy and so, I don't know, so delightful. I think it's almost like an entertainer Pokemon. Anyways, Giratina VSTAR, they have to lose a lot of cards. If they lost way too many of their energies, they cannot attack with their next VSTAR. If they lost their VSTAR, they are done after the first attacker. If they kill their first VSTAR, they cannot attack anymore. Like, Giratina VSTAR is kind of the worst meta deck ever. I've matched up against so many decks, so many Giratina decks, and won so many times. It's ridiculous. It's just terrible. I don't know why it's that terrible, because you're required to lose so many things. Comfy lost 1 card from the top two cards of your deck, and if you play Abyss Seeking, you're losing even more. Colress, Lost Sweep. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I think you need Trading Court or Energy Retrieval, because if you're losing your energy, and if your first VSTAR gets killed, you actually have to retrieve the same energies discarded after your first one, after your first Giratina is knocked out. You have to recycle the same energies, because you won't have enough inside the deck. I quite like this list. I prefer the one without the Zoroark, but right now we're actually playing kind of a mixed list. So that we actually built, the first version of this deck. I wanted to feature Zoroark, both Zoroark and Arc Phone with Dream Ball, but eventually I decided, you know what, we don't need the Zoroark. Let's just focus on the Dream Ball Arc Phone combo, and that one actually works really well. That's the best. It gives me the best win rate, and it has the highest success rate in terms of deck build, because it's so consistent, and it actually works really well playing 3 rods and 2 heavy ball. That means if you get extra poliwags in the prize, you can draw them out easily with your ball guy. So it's not that difficult. It's quite easy to play out Dream Ball as well. We only have 1 copy, but if it's already in your prize, you can play Peonia to figure out at what point, at what position that Dream Ball is. If you don't get a Dream Ball with your Peonia, then you know it's at the other 3 positions of the prize card. So make sure you draw your prize accordingly. Don't draw it in the wrong order. I always do that when I play Peonia decks. But after a lot of experience, I begin to slowly, morph. I begin to slowly get into the game, like get my groove on and play Peonia right. So Peonia is very fun to play, because if you put certain cards into the prize in your hand, if you have a Cynthia in your hand, you can put it into the prize and then draw it later to play the Cynthia to draw out your Rod and Quick Ball at the same time. So you get to shuffle back your Poliwhirl, Politoed, Poliwrath, and then play the Quick Ball or Level Ball to get them out. evolve with a rare candy or something like that with a Cynthia. So Cynthia is going to draw you a lot of cards into your hand just because we are playing a one price deck. That card is actually perfect. We also have our Bruno, 2 copies. I think we have only one Bruno, my bad. So only 1 copy of each supporter card for this list. The final one, the best one, is the first list. The first one features no Zoroark, only Arc Phone and Dream Ball. The Zoroark one is not supposed to have a Dream Ball. But the third list, we actually have 3 different lists for this deck. Sorry about that. So the first one has Dream Ball. The second one has Zoroark. The third one is a mix of it's a mix between the first and the second. And the third list is actually the very first build. So I don't really like the third list. It's kind of the worst one out of the 3. But I got quite a few wins early in the game. I got quite a lot of good wins with the first few lists, the first few experimental build. And that's why I had to show it in this video, just because they are good wins, so I had to show the list. And they just lost it 1 boss's order, the air balloon as well, another 2 cards. And they're still not able to attack. It's been so many turns now. That's a full art, look at that. This guy is insane. He has the full art basic Giratina and a gold VSTAR. Like, Zeth, you must be a rich motherfucker. This rich guy. I don't have that much money to spend. Like, I don't even have enough Giratina VSTARs in my deck. I think Giratina is quite bad though. So we got, from the pack openings, I got 3 Giratina, the basic V, and 1 VSTAR. I opened like 100 plus packs, locked ones of course. I spent my coins on locked packs, and then got quite a few VSTAR Giratinas, but no Goodra. I think Goodra is probably the best for this set. Goodra is the best VSTAR ever, and it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna be the new Mew VMAX, right? It's gonna be the new broken deck, because you cannot OHKO a Goodra. If you use effects of attacks, I think players are getting smart now. I actually saw, I got matched up against a Goodra with Big Parasol. So if you play effects of attacks like Sableye, place damage counters, slowly kill them with damage counters, or like, you know, Amazing Yveltal, they can actually block it with their Big Parasol. So you need Tool Jammer, you need Tool Scrapper, you need all those, or even a Lost Sweep to deal with that Big Parasol. And they can't actually play Wash Energy, it doesn't work. The only other card that prevents all effects of attacks is Espeon VMAX and Screen Cleaner Galarian Mr. Rhyme from Sword and Shield, from Rebel Clash, my bad. And not many people play those cards. So 1 price Galarian Mr. Rhyme, the old Rebel Clash format, the Rebel Clash card actually has the Screen Cleaner attack ability that blocks all effects of attacks on your Pokemon that have energies attached. The same ability as your Espeon VMAX. Exactly the same, just, you know, the different name, that's all. Solar Revelation. It's actually called something else for the VMAX, but the old Espeon card, if you guys remember, there is an old Espeon from, I think, Black and White series that's actually has the same ability for a 1 price Espeon. Okay, right now we got our Scoop Up that we're gonna attack. And as you can see, if you play that many Pokemons, you actually need to you need a lot more Scoop Up Nets just to empty your bench in order to play your Dream Ball. So we have a Snorlax, a Bibarel, and an Oranguru. That means we need a lot more Scoop Up Nets. If we play nothing but Snorlax and Oranguru, we would need much less. So I think this particular build has 3 Scoop Up Nets and 2 Arc Phone with 2 Dream Balls, but I don't think we have a Peonia. So not playing a Peonia is actually quite risky, because you may have your quite a few of your Poliwhirls and Poliwags prized, and if you have way too many prized, you cannot get them out, you cannot evolve, and then you're stuck. So that's why we have a solid 4 copies of Poliwag, 3 Poliwhirl, and 3 Politoed, so that if we get them prized, it's still okay, and we even have a 1 Peonia to save ourselves if they are prized. So Peonia is kind of really good if you don't play a Zoroark. You actually need the Peonia. But if you do play a Zoroark, you don't need that many heavy balls even. is just a completely different tech. If you play both at the same time, it doesn't make much sense. And the final list is actually quite annoying because I really want to add more copies of my Dream Ball. I really wanted like at least 2 copies of Arc Phone, 2 Dream Balls, and 1 Peonia, but I couldn't find the space. I can only fit 1 copy of Dream Ball and 1 Arc Phone, which is just frustrating. But since we're not discarding our hand, we only have 1 research. I don't think we have a research anymore. I don't think we have a research, right? For the final list, we have 1 Marnie, 1 Shauna. Yeah, we have a Shauna. I just swapped a research for a Shauna now. So instead of the research, we now have a Shauna, and we actually get to shuffle back our poliwrath into the deck. If it's in our hand, that means we get to summon it with our Dream Ball instead of, you know, playing it for nothing. Because if it's in our hand, instead of inside the deck, we cannot use the Dream Ball to put it onto the bench. It has to be inside the deck. That's why you either need your shuffle cards, you either need Bruno to shuffle it back into your deck. If you play a Bruno, though, chances are you're going to draw 7 cards into your hand, since they are doing a knockout every single turn. So Bruno is going to be quite bad, because you cannot actually put it inside your deck anymore. It's going to be back into your hand. You got to draw it back. Even, you know, you're only able to play a Dream Ball late stage in the game, and at that point, you would probably have enough poliwraths in your hand or in play, and that means to keep them inside the deck is quite hard. That's why we have 3 rods to shuffle back our poliwrath if we have it knocked out early, and also Marnie, Shauna to put it back into the deck, Bruno as well. You know, it might not work, Bruno, but Marnie is going to be really helpful. Oranguru, I forgot about Oranguru. Oranguru Primate Wisdom not only helps you do your Dream Ball Arc Phone combo. So if you have an Arc Phone and Dream Ball in your hand, you got to put the Dream Ball at the top of your deck with Primate Wisdom, and an Arc Phone to put that top card of your deck, swap it for a prize card, and you actually get to choose which position to place the new to place the new prize card, right? The top card of your deck is essentially the new prize that you get to choose what position it's gonna be, and then you get to, you know, select it on your next turn, or even the next, you know, once you draw your prize, you get to choose whenever you like to draw the Dream Ball or some other cards if you play a Peonia. And sometimes we may have no choice but to play the Arc Phone from our hand. If we get it way too early, if we want to draw extra cards with Snorlax, we may have no choice but to play it from our hand. But it's still okay, they actually conceded because they have no more Giratinas to attack. So that's the bad thing about the Giratina VSTAR. Losing way too many cards, and, you know, if they lost the Mirage Gate as well, they need to play not just the Mirage Gate, but they need enough energy inside the deck to be able to play that item, so they need both those cards, right? And without Energy Recycler, without Rods, I don't think it's possible for Giratina to survive. So Dream Ball is quite difficult to play, but even if we can't play Arc Phone for the Dream Ball, it's still okay because you get to use it to choose whether or not to put the top card of a deck into the prize. And if the top card of your deck is a VIP pass and it's completely useless after the first turn, you cannot play it since it's completely useless. You cannot draw it into your hand. Might as well just put it into the prize and then swap it for something else that you would need later on. For example, you may have a Twin Energy in the prize, or a Politoed, or a Poliwhirl, something, a Raihan even, that's going to help you later on in the game. So that one Arc Phone is going to help you put that VIP pass, a trash card that is useless throughout the entire game for this inside the deck, is going to be useless, is going to be dead, sitting there doing nothing in the deck. Might as well just swap it for a useful card from the prize. So it's basically a half Peonia sort of card, an item sort of Peonia. A different effect though. You get to look at the top card of your deck instead of looking at the prize. You're looking at the top card of your deck. And you actually don't know what you're swapping for. You're swapping, you get to choose what position though. You get to choose which prize to swap for, but you can't look at it. You can't look at what the prize cards are. So you don't know what the new top card of the deck is. It's kind of a surprise, isn't it? What are you gonna top deck later? And right now I'm up against a Clefairy deck. Moonlight, I forgot what's the name again. Moonlight Marauders, I don't know. So Clefairy does 20x damage for each Psychic Energy attached or Fairy Energy attached to all of your Clefairies in play. And they get to play Heavy Ball, Rescue Carrier. This is a crazy deck. VIP Pass, Gloria. So this one I think is deck list C again. We're playing both Zoroark and Dream Ball for this list again, I'm pretty sure. It's basically down to who gets to draw the first prize, right? And or maybe, you know, if they get stuck, if eventually they run out of their energy recyclers, if they have no more recycler, because they actually need to hit at least, they need at least 6 energies, right? Well, 7. They need 7 energies in play to be able to kill the Politoed, and the poliwrath can still attack. So if we attach 1 water energy, all we need is 1 water on the poliwrath, we can kill the Clefairy with Split Spiral Punch. So don't underestimate your other attackers. Use everything to attack. Your Snorlax can attack. Your Oranguru can also attack. We actually forgot that we get to play Oranguru until the very last minute. We finally attached it though. You'll see it later, but we actually used our Oranguru. We charged up our Oranguru at just the right time. We could have charged it up a bit earlier, but you know, we didn't realize at that point that we could have attacked with Whop Down for a Clefairy knockout. 70 damage is enough. If they play Cape of Toughness though, it's not enough. I don't think they have that. They need a lot of energies. They need, you know, a lot of switches. They need like a lot of trainers to make that attack work, because it's only 20x. That means you need a lot of energies in play. Lunatone is 30x, and it even have 30 base damage. This one has no base damage. Clefairy is terrible. I don't know why people say it's broken and crazy. I'm like, no, it's shit. Clefairy is shit. I'm sorry guys, but Clefairy is terrible. It's just useless. Is powerful, I guess. More powerful than Lunatone in a way, because if you have all 4 in play early, you can attach up to like I don't even know how much, 12 energies in play, so you can do 240 damage. With a choice belt, you can do 270, which is almost enough to kill a you know, high HP VSTAR, enough to kill, you know, Hisuian Decidueye, Samurott, most of the VSTARs honestly, which is pretty cool. But I mean, you need recyclers. Is a very boring deck, isn't it? You need recyclers. Rescue Carrier is like, ugh. You don't need a lot of IQ. You don't need a high IQ to build a Clefairy deck. It's just so fucking stupid. So fucking basic. So obviously no Pokestop, because you can't afford to discard your energies. You have to attach it from the deck, from inside the deck, as opposed to your Lunatone Zoroark. Zoroark is reverse attaching the energy from the discard pile. That's why Pokestop works so well, because it actually helps you search for your Rescue Carrier, your Rod, it doesn't help you search for a switch card. You don't even need the switch card. You need Scoop Up Net to recycle, Sun Energy ability, maybe use it more times. You rebench your Zoroark, or even retreat with the Scoop Up Net. I've seen people play Clefairy with Pokestop, and it doesn't really work that well, because you need a lot more energy recyclers and Rod. Rod is gonna help you shuffle back the Pokemon and energy, and then maybe Pokestop to draw back the level ball to bench the Clefairy all over again. But you are probably more likely to discard a lot more energies with your Pokestop, because you are playing that many, right? If you have a lot of energies in your deck, in relation to your item cards, you would more likely discard energies from the top 3 cards of a deck with that Stadium card. Wonderstorm. I just remember the name, Wonderstorm. Okay, here comes Radiant Greninja. They got 2 Clefairies, and here comes the Rescue Carrier. And both players have 1 prize taken. They are taking their 2nd prize this turn. So technically speaking, they are 1 prize ahead. Just a little bit ahead of us, which is quite sad because they should be so much more faster, right? Playing a turbo attacker like that. Crazy ability. They need 3 energies to attack though. So if they don't switch or retreat, they cannot actually do, and they don't have enough energies to satisfy the attack cost. Because the active is not actually able to charge up. You cannot charge up the active Clefairy. It's impossible. Unless if you play Raihan or Experience Share on the last turn. Energy Recycler. So they gave us a escape rope, so we don't need to do that many rods. If you have a rod, make sure you play it for the right Pokemons. So we actually played the rod wrong. We actually did the rod way too early, but we have 3 copies, so I think we should be fine. We have to attack with Politoed and poliwrath, so we may eventually run out of our attackers. All we need is a poliwag, right? A poliwag or whatever on the bench. If we have a poliwag, poliwhirl, or poliwrath on the bench, it is enough to knock out the Clefairy in the active. Whatever on the bench is okay. If you have a Politoed though, it's not doing extra damage, right? Politoed is not doing extra damage for, you know, extra Politoads on your bench. Sorry guys, my nose is like clogged. So we got 2 rods, and I think we played it at the wrong time. We should have just... I thought they knocked out a Politoed, because normally by now, the first knockout, or you know, the first 2 knockouts would actually include a boss kill for a Politoed knockout. And we actually did the rod wrong. And now we actually have 2 rods down, 1 rod down. So we didn't draw our supporter cards. We got really unlucky for this game. And we don't have our supporter cards. I don't think we have that many though. We don't have that many supporter cards. Only 1 Cynthia, 1 Bruno, 1 Shauna. What else do we have? 1 Marnie. I think that's it. We don't really have that many supporters. 1 Peonia, 1 Birdkeeper. And we got our Dream Ball, which is great. So Snorlax is the main engine, right? If you cannot draw with Snorlax, you're done. If you can't afford to pass a turn doing Gormandize, you're dead, because we don't have that many supporter cards. So against a 1 prize deck, we don't really stand a good chance. Against a V deck or a VSTAR deck, I think we stand a really high chance of winning, because we're doing 280 max damage. Eventually, we can kill a VSTAR with 1 hit, and all we need is that one OHKO against a VSTAR. If we can kill the first VSTAR with 2 hits, is okay. But, you know, the next VSTAR or even the last one, if we can knock it out with 1 hit, we can draw the final 2 prize or even our 3rd and 4th in a single turn, and that's enough to get ahead of our opponent. It's enough to, you know, race them past the finish line. Concealed cards. Greninja, no training card. I don't see a training card. I think training card would be really consistent, would make the deck so much more consistent. I think they have it, they just didn't draw it yet. Maybe just 1 or 2 copies. Menifee, you can't go without a Menifee. So can you imagine if your opponent plays a Sableye? A Sableye Lost Mine is gonna kill 2 Clefairies with 1 hit. Playing damage counters, Clefairy decks are total trash. It's useless. Like, you can't even win a Sableye deck. all you need to do is play enough Sableye, like 2 Sableye. That's all you need. Like 1 Giratina VSTAR to kill 2 Clefairies, and then 2 Sableye to kill for the remaining 4 prize. And that's it, you win the game. That's it, they're done. It's not possible for them to kill the first Giratina VSTAR with 1 hit, unless if they keep their energies, I suppose. If they wait like 1 or 2 turns, they can actually boss the Giratina on the bench. If they have a boss. I don't even know if they have one, probably. So Giratina is actually a late start Pokemon, so maybe something else. A lost deck, like, you know, the basic lost deck. Cramorant with Sableye. I don't think they can win that, because Sableye is doing a double knockout. They're drawing 1 prize at a time with against Cramorant. And Cramorant can attack fast, it can attack early, so good luck, Clefairy. Fuck you, Clefairy. It doesn't even qualify as a donk. It doesn't. Like, Lunatone is... I understand how powerful Lunatone is. But this one, 60 HP, I mean, no. No, it's terrible. Like, there isn't a counter for Lunatone. When the set got released, when Pokemon Go set got released, there wasn't a proper counter. Like, people had to search for Empoleon V, they had to search for Ice Cube and Flying Pikachu to counter Lunatone. It's so difficult to counter that card. Now we have Sableye to kill Clefairy. We have Lost City to destroy Manaphy's. We have a lot of ways to knock out Clefairy with 2 hits. Knock out 2 Clefairy with 1 hit. It's so easy. We even have Box of Disaster now. I actually played Box of Disaster. If you guys watched my previous video, Box of Disaster with Rotom V helps us do a double knockout situation against Clefairy. So if they kill Rotom with 1 hit, having our tool card attached, then the box actually helps you place 8 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon. That means Clefairy is killing itself while knocking out your Rotom. That means both players essentially have the same prize remaining, right? They're drawing only 1 extra prize. They're only 1 prize ahead. They're only drawing 1 prize this turn, right? Essentially, relatively, because you're drawing 1 prize, they're drawing 2 prize for a Rotom V knockout. And now they're using the ability for only 1 attachment. They have, I think they ran out of their rescue carriers. They may have a few prized. So let's see how many more carriers they have. I think we are going to check the deck discard pile eventually. I don't know. So all 6 energies on the Clefairy at the bench. If we can boss the bench Clefairy, we can actually kill it quite easily. Right now we have nothing but Primate Wisdom to rely on. If we get no evolution, we're done. There we go, we got our Politoed. We should be getting something though, right? Either an Incense, Ball Guy. I don't think we're playing Zoroark for this list. I think we're playing list number 1. I think this is actually the final upgrade. So we have Peonia, Ball Guy, Cynthia, Bruno. I think we played one of the supporter already, but I can't remember which. Lordly Songleader. 280 damage, unnecessary, but right now we just need 1 energy. We actually finally attached a twin onto the Oranguru, and now Oranguru gets to attack for only 1 extra energy. If we get a capture, if we get an Aurora, I don't think we have an Aurora. My bad. So the final list has 2 basic water, 2 capture, and 4 twin. No Aurora, because Raihan needs basic energy. Aurora helps you discard your hand, so you can draw more cards with Bibarel. You can draw more cards with your Snorlax as well. So that's why Aurora is there in the first place. Okay, we have the second Clefairy. It's down to, are we able to get the energy on the next turn? And they're wasting a lot of time deciding what to do. What are they gonna... Oh, they just missed their turn. Look at that. They missed their turn, and we're gonna Primate Wisdom. All we need is 1 energy though. if they killed, and we got it. If they killed our Politoed on the last turn, we just need 1 energy to attack with Whop Down, and then they got 1 Clefairy left with not enough energies to kill the Oranguru. If they don't play their Recycler, if they don't get their Rescue Carrier for the next Clefairy, they're done. They actually need a lot more. They need another switch, right? They only have 1 energy on this Clefairy, so if they play enough carriers this turn, if they actually have to play this turn. They not only have to play it on the next, but also on this turn. If they don't do it on both turns, I don't think they would have enough energies to attack, because they need to not just attach to the bench with the ability, switch enough times, but also switch a final time to attack with the next, the third Clefairy. They need to do a double switch. They can't switch 1 time. They need to switch twice. Unless if they do the rescue this turn, then they would essentially just need to do it once, I guess. Once on both turns. We actually want a Clefairy though, that's crazy. Clefairies are just annoying. If you play an OHKO deck, I don't think you stand a good chance at winning, because you're supposed to be killing like big VMAXs, big bad Pokemons with high HP. And if you're killing, a Clefairy 60 HP Pokemon doing such high damage is just ridiculous. Might as well just play Sableye, right? If you do a stage 2 deck as well, you don't really stand a high chance at winning against a Clefairy, but we actually won though, rocking out a stage 2 Politoed, the new Politoed from Lost Origin. And we actually get to play Peonia on the first turn, going second, having a Dream Ball already in our hand in pair with that crazy supporter card. I love Peonia because now we know what we have in the prize. Only 3 cards though, but if we know what we have inside the deck, all we need to do is play an item card to look for what we don't have, the 3 remaining cards in the deck, and then we would essentially know we have the final 3 prized. If we have like 1 less energy, we would know that the remaining 3 position, 1 of them is an energy, so you can choose what to draw. If you knock out an Ice Rider VMAX, you can choose whether to draw the Dream Ball, a new card, possibly an energy, possibly the thing that you want from the prize, or the thing that is already in there, like the thing that you already put it in there with your Peonia. So it's always important to calculate. It's important to analyze and know what's the best thing to do from the very beginning. From the very start, when you're putting cards into the prize with Peonia. It's so important. I cannot stress it enough. Take as much time as you need. Don't rush. If you're playing a Politoed deck, it's really difficult. Not only that, you're playing Peonia Arc Phone is even more complex. And if it's so complicated, you need a lot of time to think. You need a lot of, the process is really difficult, guys. Like, I had to play so many games to realize how to get my flow going, because this deck is just so hard to play. If you make just the wrong decision, if you play a wrong move for just a single turn, then you lose the whole game. It's that difficult. But if you know how to play this deck, it's very fun. It's just so fun because you get to keep on doing at least 160 damage every single turn. All you need is Poliwhirl and Poliwag on your bench, and then you get to play Dream Ball to reverse summon. You get to use your Irida. You get to, play a lot of new cards. Raihan to attack with Splash Loop. It's just a very interesting deck. And I always love a good puzzle, right? Politoed is definitely a big puzzle. You have to attack with both Stage 2 evolutions. If you only attack with Politoed, I don't think you can survive any games. You actually need to think about adding enough energies in the deck, adding enough water energy for you to play poliwrath as well. If you don't attack with poliwrath, you cannot win any game. I'm sorry to say, but poliwrath has to attack. It has to attack. Unless if you play some basic attacker like Suicune, you know. Suicune needs water energy, so might as well just attack with Poliwrath, right? You can also confuse your opponent's Pokemon. Split Spiral Punch. Confusion could actually, you know, earn you an extra turn if they flip a Tails, or if they can't get their switch cards. Okay, right now we just need one more strike to kill the Ice Rider, and then on the next turn, eventually do, well, we actually need 2 more hits to kill the next one, so we need our boss for sure. If they bench the 3rd Ice Rider, retreat and attack with the next one, they can actually avoid, avoid us from drawing the remaining 3 prize by killing the 2nd VMAX. They can actually force us to deal with the 3rd VMAX by playing another Ice Rider. So I'm not sure if they have a Palkia for this list. If they have a Palkia, we should be killing the Palkia with 1 hit and then bossing a Sobble on the bench, and that gives us our final 3 prize. And they don't have a 2nd Ice Rider, so right now, on the next turn they actually have to attack with the VMAX. That means we have 1 turn to draw, and then on the next turn we have to attack. If we don't kill the Ice Rider on the next turn, they're gonna switch. They're gonna use the 2nd VMAX, and then we are gonna need our boss order to deal with the 1st VMAX. We cannot afford that. We cannot afford that. We have to use boss for the 2nd VMAX. So this is actually kind of the perfect game, because, well, they only have that many. They only can do retreat that many times. Eventually, they're gonna have to attack with either the Inteleon or the same Ice Rider on the bench. And we can keep on hitting big damage turn after turn. All we need to do is, you know, wait until we have enough Toads on the bench. And we actually got pretty unlucky for this game and had to do Snorlax a couple times, before we were able to get, well, we didn't get that unlucky, but our opponent is playing a super turbo deck. They are playing so fast, they are drawing their cards and attacking so fast that we actually couldn't match their speed in terms of setup. So we need to evolve a stage 2, have a stage 1 on the bench. We need to bench so many things. We need to get our Twin Energy, do the switch, Scoop Up Net. If they play a boss right now, it'll be quite, I don't think they can play a boss though. They need to play a Melanie. So they can't attack with the 2nd Ice Rider, and they need to play the Melanie. So this turn is actually perfect for us to stall with Gormandize, and that means we get to prepare for our next attacker quite easily. If we don't play Scoop Up Net, if they don't attack, and if we don't get our Scoop, if we don't get our Net, it would be quite impossible to win the game. They're probably going to kill us right now though. They cannot afford to pass a turn not drawing a prize card. They may gamble on doing the, passing the turn, and then if we get stuck, hypothetically they would be able to do a boss to delay us even more. If we're that unlucky though, I don't think we would be that unlucky, because we have a Marnie in our hand. We would at least get something with the supporter. We have a Bird Keeper. Oh, there we go. We just top deck a Bird Keeper. We have only 1 Bird Keeper, 2 Scoop Up Nets, and quite a lot of ways to search for the Scoop Up Net. Honestly, we have a Arc Phone. Well, Oranguru Arc Phone actually works quite well together. If you have a Dream Ball already in the prize, if you play a Peonia early in the game, or if you play a Peonia when you don't need to and then realize that you have a Dream Ball prized, then you can actually play the Arc Phone just to look at the top card of your deck. If your top card is a Scoop Up Net, you can actually play Oranguru to put it into your hand. So Arc Phone is quite interesting. You get to look at the top card and then play it with your Oranguru. But you may actually just discard it, not doing anything, not putting cards into the prize, because you may have a valuable card at the top deck. Oranguru is enough though without the Arc Phone, honestly. If you play Dream Ball, it would fit in quite nicely with the Oranguru combo. Primate Wisdom for Dream Ball, and then Arc Phone to put it into the prize. So we got our energy, we got our Aurora. We had to attach that just to So we are actually playing 2 copies of Dream Ball for this list. We have 2 Dream Ball, 2 Arc Phone, and 1 Peonia. And I think we only have 1 Heavy Ball. Only 1 Heavy Ball. So eventually we decided to cut down the copies and add 2 Heavy Ball for poliwags to show up much easier. Because if we have too many poliwags priced, then we can Ball Guy for the Heavy and then rebench them. We're gonna just Rare Candy evolve the poliwrath. Well, we can't actually do that though. If we do that, we wouldn't have... Well, I just realized... Oh, we made a mistake. We made a deathly mistake this turn. But thank God we got the scoop on that. Because Politoed on the bench is not helping you do extra damage. We need either a poliwrath and a poliwag to knock out the Ice Rider this turn. Or a poliwhirl and a poliwag. So thank God we got the scoop on that. Because we made a mistake evolving the stage 2 this turn. Before the Marnie. And now we got the Dream Ball. Are we gonna get something that we know we put into the prize? We have a Ball Guy on the 2nd position. Well, on the 4th and then the 6th, I don't know what it was. I forgot. I think we have an energy prize as well. Here comes the 2nd one. Ice Rider. There's still no Calyrex though. There's gonna be a Calyrex for the next Incandescent Arcana. My bad. What's it called again? Silver Tempest has a Calyrex card, but it's actually useless though. It's a 1 price Calyrex that does nothing. King's Dance or something. I forgot what it's called, but I think it does energy attachment from the deck. Search a deck for an energy attached to any one of your Pokemon or something like that. Is an interesting effect, but I don't think it's doing much. It really isn't doing much for 1 price. It's quite terrible for a legendary Pokemon. Like, come on, Calyrex. It should have a iconic, you know, an iconic attack. Come on. Glastrier, Spectrier is quite terrible as well. I suppose you could think about ways to make them work, because Glastrier actually helps you deny, block your opponent from attacking if they are playing basic. I think if the defense, it has the effect that blocks blocks the defending Pokemon from attacking if it is a basic Pokemon. So it's kind of different from Ice-Q. Ice-Q is much better, because it actually prevents all damage done to itself. So the effect actually works on itself. It's a safeguard effect instead of a blocking effect. If it's a block effect, then they get to switch to remove the effect. Whereas if it's a safeguard effect, they actually have to play Escape Rope and Boss at the same time to deal with the Ice-Q to knock it out on the same turn. Because if they don't kill it this turn, you're just gonna play it again. You're just gonna use the attack on the next turn over and over until they run out of their Pokemons, until they cannot attack anymore. Okay, we got no energies, no twin energy. We're forced to play the Bruno. Are we gonna shuffle deck the basic energy? And they just conceded. Oh my god. So I wasn't sure if we want to be shuffling back the water, because if we shuffle back the water, we can quite easily play a Raihan on the next turn to kill off the Ice Rider. But if we don't damage it right now, we don't stand a chance at winning at all. So if we shuffle back too many cards into the deck, we may not draw our twin energy with our Bruno. So that's why I was kind of delaying the game, deciding what to do. It's always very difficult playing a twin energy deck. If you don't have double turbo as well, it's really risky to shuffle back too many cards into the deck. You may not get your twin energy. We don't even have energy lotto. We have no way of searching for the twin. No Pierres. No lotto. No Menifee. Ocean, not Menifee. I think Celebi, my bad. Woodland Stroll Celebi allows you to search the top top 6 card of your deck, if I'm not mistaken. Top 6 or top 7 or top 5, I'm not too sure actually. Top 6 cards of your deck, and put any energy you find there into your hand. An energy, only one copy, but any energy. You can put a twin energy, double turbo, Aurora, whatever you like, single strike, and then, you know, air balloon, retreat, attack. So this is actually a very interesting game. They are playing a stage 2 Lost Origin deck, and we are also playing the new stage 2 Lost Origin card. They are playing Dustox. Oh my god, Dustox with Radiant Sneasler. Like, that is so cool, because Dustox does a double special condition effect. It poisons your opponent's active and confuses them as well. So Galar Mine is going to trap them. Sneasler, Hisuian Sneasler, Radiant Hisuian Sneasler, my bad. Radiant Sneasler is going to help you add extra damage counter to the poison effect. That means you're doing 10 damage counters with the poison, and then 3 more with the confusion. And if they can't retreat, you get to actually kill off a VMAX on the next turn, right? 3 Pokemon check up to kill a VMAX if they flip the tails with confusion, or if they don't flip the coin, and if they don't retreat, all you need to do is like attack with the second, like it has a second move obviously. Dustox can still attack with maybe wing attack or something. 110 damage if I'm not mistaken. 3 energies, 1 grass and 2 colorless. Or maybe 1 grass and 1 colorless, I'm not too sure. So 110 damage plus 300. 300 from the special condition, that's a lot. Sneasler is helping out with Nadir Powder. Nadir Powder for the poison confusion effect. Okay, this is gonna be very tricky. If they run out of the Dustox though, they're gonna have no way to attack. Do they have enough rods? They're playing Bibarel. They're playing Bibarel and Galar Mine, so a control sort of deck. They may have Crushing Hammer as well, I don't know. A lot more boss probably. So if they don't have enough rods to shuffle back their Pokemon, all we need to do is kill all the Dustox and then they're done for, right? Essentially, that's basically all we need to do. We have 2 Scuba Net and 1 Bird Keeper to basically deal with the special condition, to deny them from knocking out our Pokemon during Pokemon checkup. That's terrible, right? Because passing the turn, we would actually essentially die before our opponent's turn, and that's actually terrible because they get to strike once more. They're actually only playing the first attack though, so if they do a boss to kill something like a Zoroark or a Poliwag, they actually are like half a turn ahead, I guess. Well, 1 whole turn ahead, my bad, because we actually get knocked out during our turn with the poison effect, and then they actually get to kill another Pokemon with a boss using the second move. We should have charged up the Snorlax with Double Twin, but I don't think that would be wise though, because Dustox has more than 100 HP. We can't kill the Dustox with Body Slam. If they evolve it, they're probably going to evolve it by the next turn probably, I don't know. We're going to attach our capture to Politoed. Okay, we did the Bruno first, and maybe, oh my goodness. Okay, we're gonna scoop up the Snorlax. Okay, we are gambling right now. We're doing a big gamble, because we have Bibarel. So if we draw an energy from the top 2 cards of the deck, we can attack right now. But I don't think we got enough. We got the capture back. That's terrible. So no twin, we cannot attack. And now they're going to evolve into the stage 2 Dustox, Nadir Powder, to trap us in the active, forcing us to flip the coin, because we just wasted our Scoop Up Net. That was a big mistake, a very stupid move on my part. Sorry about that. very, very stupid because I wasn't really aware what they're up to. I don't know what they're playing, honestly, at this point. I thought they're going for both Butterfree and, well, Beautifly. Sorry. Both Beautifly and Dustox. And only now am I realizing that they are doing the special condition trap. Because we could have saved our Scoop Up Net for the next turn. Like, if we did it this turn, we could have done a Dustox knockout and also reverse the special condition on the Snorlax. Reverse, like, all the damage counters on it. Okay, we're gonna play the Bibarel first and then the Shauna, maybe. Are we gonna do Arezu? If we do Arezu, Rare Candy, we may be able to draw more cards with Bibarel. But I think it's smarter to play the Shauna. I don't know what's the best thing to do. So we got our energy, there we go. We're just gonna play Shauna this turn. Arezu is gonna help us evolve though. The Zoroark, and the Poliwag, Politoed. If we play Shauna, we may be able to get our Scoop Up Net. But I don't think Scuba Net is gonna help anymore. Because we can't attack with anything on the bench. Unless if we get another Politoed. So we actually invested the energy on the active before doing the Shauna. We need a Scoop Up Net, a Twin Energy, and a Politoed to save ourselves from the knockout, which is virtually impossible because we don't have a Bird Keeper in our hand, and we only have one Scoop Up Net left in the deck. It could be prized as well, so we cannot avoid the knockout this turn, unfortunately. If they do a Rare Candy, they can do Nadir Powder again. So I don't think we have a choice but to play the poliwrath. We're just gonna put poliwrath as the active. If they don't evolve, we got our water, basic water, to do split Spiral Punch for the knockout because Wurmple is only 60 HP. So split Spiral Punch is enough. Let's hope they don't play the Rare Candy. They're probably going to though. They got Bibarel. It's way too late in the game not to get it. Research Bruno Cynthia, like, come on. They got it. I know they got it. But they are not able to kill poliwrath at least. At least we are surviving one turn. Doing Bird Keeper and then, you know, maybe play a Raihan on the next turn. Are we able to get the Toad and the energy? We got the Toad. We got the Toad. Is enough to kill the Dustox, right? We just need a Wrath and a Wag. We're doing only 130 damage with Poliwrath on the bench. So we need Poliwag as well. 190 damage. So all we need to do is evolve the Poliwhirl, Bird Keeper, attach the energy, and we are good. If we don't get the energy though, we would be kind of... It would be a disaster, obviously. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we get it. Please, please, please. Give us the bloody energy. We got Bibarel. So if we get like Ultra Ball, we can actually draw with the Bibarel. But we may have to discard. We got the Ultra Ball. That's great. So we're gonna evolve Ultra Ball for a basic, and then discard the basic energy as well. So we get to play Raihan on the next turn. I don't think we need Arezu anymore. It's not doing anything. It's too late to play that. Oh my goodness, we discarded the Raihan. Why did we discard the Raihan? We should be discarding the water energy. Oh, we can't play the Raihan because they're using special conditions. Sorry, my bad. So when you're playing the game, you actually are focusing more. If you narrate, like if you talk about the game while playing, I don't think you can focus. You know, you won't be able to be. Your head won't be in the game that much, and you would make a lot of mistakes. That's why I chose to separate it. So we can't play the Raihan. We discarded it with our Ultra Ball and drew the Twin Energy with Bibarel, knocking out the Dustox this turn. If they do another Rare Candy, I would be depressed. I would be so depressed. They did a boss right now. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is bad. If they evolve though into a Cascoon, we cannot kill it with Split Spiral Punch. So fingers crossed they either don't get the rare candy or Cascoon, but they're probably gonna get one or the other. And here comes the Dustox, rare candy with Bibarel and Cynthia. I think they played a Cynthia. I'm not sure if they did that. Nadir powder for a poliwrath knockout. Okay, we are actually 1 prize ahead. We got 4 prize left. And, you know, we are drawing the 3rd prize this turn. They drew their 2nd prize on the last. So right now we just need to get a poliwag. We actually need a poliwag. If we don't get a poliwag, we can't kill the Dustox. So we're gonna play Marnie. Let's just draw with Aurora Energy first. We're gonna attach the Aurora, evolve the Politoed, and then if we attach the Aurora though, we can't play the rare candy anymore. I don't think we need the rare candy, do we? We should be discarding the rare candy and then draw more cards with Bibarel. Evolve the Politoed, that way we get to draw 2 cards and then play the Marnie for the Rod and Quick Ball. Oh my goodness, we didn't evolve it. We did not evolve the Politoed. Okay, we're gonna look at the top card. It's a VIP, look at that. It's a VIP pass, that means we get to swap for anything else. Because VIP is not doing anything. So if it's a Rod, if we got a Rod in the prize card, if that was a lucky Rod, we can actually play... oh my god. Okay, we got the poliwrath. Oh, that was the reason. That was the reason I did not evolve the Politoed. Because we don't need the Rod and Quick Ball. It's much more difficult to play Rod and the Quick Ball with just a Marnie than it is to get your poliwrath, because we actually have 2 copies in this deck. So all we need to do is get an Incense to evolve the poliwrath. It's not enough though. We need a poliwhirl. So that means had we evolved the Politoed, we wouldn't be able to kill the Dustox. So that's why we did not evolve on last turn. So make sure it's very complex. Like Politoed is really difficult to play. Make sure you're careful at every point in the game when you need to evolve, like whether you should do the Politoed evolution, what you need to do. Always keep it as poliwhirl. It's always safer to keep them at the stage 1. And then play the Marnie first, decide what to do later. Okay, right now, if we don't evolve the Politoed though, we can evolve it later, right? We just need an Incense. I think we should be doing the Twin Energy and then attach the water on the next turn. And then play Splash Loop for the final knockout. If they do a boss on our poliwrath, then we can't kill the Dustox anymore. If we play Tails this turn, we are dead. And if they play the boss, I don't think we can survive that. But if we can kill the Dustox with the poliwrath or even the Politoed, then I don't think they have any more rods. They may just concede because I don't see any... Okay, we got a heads. I don't see any Wurmples. I don't see any way they can attack on the next turn. Because they're playing Twin Energy and nothing else. So let's see what they're gonna... We actually drew back the VIP pass. So we were a bit overexcited and drew back that trash card. We should be drawing something else, but we forgot. So always quite common to make that mistake. And they just conceded because they got no rods in their deck. It may be priced, you never know. So Dustox doesn't work that well, I guess. Maybe they just got unlucky because we got 2 heads though. We got 2 heads from the confusion. Double heads from the double coin flip, which is crazy, isn't it? It's quite rare that we got so lucky, even in a single game or 2 games. It's very rare. Like coin flips are, it always screws me over when I play coin flips. I guess they're trying to level up the playing field because both players are playing new cards. Every time you build decks with new cards, they would give you the highest RNG. Like your RNG is really good. The algorithm works in your favor if you play new cards. Like you need, like it's all about, you know, it's all about a game, right? Because they want to sell packs. And if you play new cards, you are basically promoting the newest set. You're promoting Lost Origin for the Pokemon Company, and they would actually help you win more games, because that way you could shine, and then they would actually sell more packs because people would want to play new cards. So we're actually up against another Giratina VSTAR. A second time. Let's see who wins. I think I'm just gonna end the voiceover right here and leave you guys to focus on the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this new combo. Today we're featuring the new Politoed from Lost Origin with the Lordly Songleader attack, doing 280 max damage for only 2 colorless. Playing your Twin Energy for a VSTAR knockout. We actually need to evolve a Poliwrath on the bench, a Poliwhirl, and a Poliwag as well, so it's quite difficult to do that. We have our Arezu and Zoroark for our second list. For the first one, we have our Arc Phone and Dream Ball combo to summon our Stage 2, an extra copy of Stage 2 onto the bench. We only are playing 1 copy though, but we have a lot of rods to recycle them back, and 4 rare candies, enough Poliwhirls to loop the evolution so that we get to have as many froggies on the bench to do as much damage with our Politoed, and then we actually get to knock out a VMAX with 2 hits, a V-Star with 1 hit eventually, and I think you get the point. So that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll see you next time. Have a great day, and bye for now, lovely people. Enjoy your life.